Right, so clearing your area so you have space. Find a comfortable seated position on your mat. If you notice your lower back tilting out behind you, maybe sitting up on a blanket will help. But find a position where you don't feel any aches and pains. Close your eyes gently. Lift up through your chest and the crown of your head. And allow your shoulder blades to drop away from your ears. Taking on a posture of confidence but calm. Distancing yourself from any feelings, any activities of the morning. And tuning into your body, just focusing on your breath and movement for the next hour. If you're struggling to find the stillness, you may take one hand to your heart and one to your abdomen. Breathing in deeply and feeling your hands as they expand when you breathe in. And collapse as you exhale. Elongating these breaths as long as you are able. And eventually transitioning to your Ujjayi breathing. You're breathing in through your nose and out through your nose. Lips are sealed. The next time you breathe in, release your hands down and draw them up to the sky. And on an exhale, fingertips return to the earth. Inhale, they lift. And as you exhale, drop one hand to the earth, reaching the other arm long, moving your spine this morning. On an inhale, lift and stack your spine. Exhale, other side. Breathing in, we lift. And hands drop behind your seat as you exhale. Broaden through your chest as you gaze up. Stacking your spine again, drop your right ear to your shoulder. Moving our way up our vertebral column now, stretching out our cervical spine. Drawing the crown of the head up towards the sky and taking the other ear to your shoulder. We inhale as we lift, and exhaling, drop your chin down towards your sternum, towards your chest. Staying here for a few slow breaths. Breathing in, lift your head. Moving slowly, bring your hands in front of you, coming on to your hands and knees. Take quite a few breaths here to find some organic movements, maybe circling your shoulders and hips. You might prefer to sway back and forth. However, you can bring heat to your wrists, loosen your spine, listening to your body. The one benefit of virtual classes is you don't have to worry about what you look like. No one else can see you. Take a few more breaths, going the other direction if you've been one-sided. And stack your shoulders over your wrists. Draw your navel in and tuck your tail slightly as you are in a nice supported tabletop position. Finding cat-cow as you inhale, your abdomen drops down as your gaze lifts. And on an exhale, push the earth away, dropping tail, lifting shoulders. A few more times on your own breath, stretching your back, strengthening your shoulders as they support you here. When you've completed your whole round of cat-cow, draw your toes together, sit your hips back, and rest into a child's pose. Heart drawing down between your knees towards the earth. Moving towards the left side of your mat now, walk your hands there, stretching the right side of your chest. Making space in between your ribs. Return through center. And continue to the right side of your mat. Sinking your left shoulder down towards the earth. Relaxing your shoulders and your ears. Breathing in, return through center. And allow the forehead to come to the mat. Reach your hands back for your heels as you're able. If this is not accessible, you can just remain in your child's pose. If it is, we are going to lift our hips away from our heels, rolling slightly onto the crown of our head to stretch behind our shoulder blades. We call this rabbit pose. And release down. Fingertips come up by your shoulders and lift your spine. Walking your hands forward. Bring them past tabletop 6 inches. Tuck your toes and lift your hips, finding a very gentle downward facing dog. Bending your knees to allow your shoulders to open. Shifting weight into your wide fingertips for support. Giving reprieve to your wrists. Maybe straighten one leg and then the other, feeling the alternating stretch of your calf and hamstring. And now walk your feet forward, finding them by your hands. Reach for opposite elbows in your ragdoll pose. Allow your head to hang heavy towards the earth. Finding a sunflower today. Engage both feet to the mat. And as you breathe in, take your elbows towards your right foot. Circle up, left elbow comes towards the sky, and both arms reach overhead. And continue to circle now, leaning left, dropping your chest down, and head points towards the earth. We reverse, inhaling, move your elbows towards your left. Lift your right shoulder over your left as you stack your spine. And continue to circle and stretch. When your arms find the bottom of your mat, drop your fingertips down and slowly roll up to stand. If your feet are wider than your hips, heel toe them, bringing them underneath you for a balanced mountain. Gaze your chest up. Maybe close your eyes. Tuning into what you feel. As you seal behind your big toe, pinky toe and heel to the earth, can you feel your legs and your core activate, supporting you firmly? Maybe keeping your eyes closed if you're balanced. As you breathe in, take your arms overhead. Interlace your fingers, point your fingers, come to the sky. Lift up through your ribs and then draw over to your right side, a gentle crescent moon. Inhale, we lift. And finding a gentle arc to your left. And come up through center. Maybe find a gentle back bend, lifting through your sternum. And fold forward, chest coming towards your legs, moving gently. Meeting your right foot where it is, step your left foot back as we work towards our low lunge position this morning. So left knee finds the mat. Right knee is stacked over your right ankle. Glutes are active as you lift your chest off of your knee, maybe taking hands to your legs, bending forward into your right knee. Hands on the legs almost forces you to lift your chest and activate your core. Maybe you bend into the right knee a little more as you tuck your tail and stretch your back hip flexor. And if you'd like, fingertips can float up to the sky. Palms facing towards each other. Opening through your chest. As you breathe out, take your hands down around your front foot. Heel toe your right foot out to the side slightly. Bring your right hand inside your right foot. And maybe use your elbow to push your right knee open. Back knee is still on the mat. Chest shining through, just allowing the inner side of our right thigh to release. Stacking your right knee back up if it had moved out. Release your right foot from the mat, bring it back to meet your left. You're in a tabletop position. Finding one round of cow first and then cat. Inhale as we lift. And exhale, push the mat away, rounding your spine. Tuck your toes under. Cover your knees momentarily if you're able, engaging your core. And then lift your hips and sink your heels for downward dog. Can you lift your tailbone higher towards the sky, opening through your back body? And on the next inhale, walk your feet forward. They might be wide on the mat or narrow, your preference. Fold forward. As you breathe in, lift halfway, engaging core, flattening spine. And exhale, release down. As you breathe in, sweep your fingertips out to the side, bringing them up to the sky. And hands draw to your heart. Pausing for a moment of stillness. If your feet are wide, bring them underneath your hips for balance. As we breathe in, take your arms overhead again, interlacing fingers, point your fingers to the sky. As you exhale, reach over, imagine going over a ball as you come to your right side bend. Breathing in, we stack our spine. And exhale to the left. Lift through center. And maybe a gentle back bend, opening through your armpits. As you exhale, release down, folding at your hips. Maybe shaking your head side to side once you're here. On an inhale, find your flat back. Hands return to the mat. This time your right foot steps back for your low lunge. Right knee finds the mat, maybe the top of your right foot. Hands come to your knee, engaging your glutes and drawing inner thighs towards each other for a solid base. As you tuck your tailbone under, maybe you can shift forward slightly, stretching the right hip flexor. And releasing the arms overhead. One more inhale, stretching a little higher to the sky. And exhale, take your hands to the mat. Move your left hand inside your left foot and take your left foot out towards the edge of your mat slightly. Dropping the left knee out as your chest lifts. Finding a lizard pose. Breathe in one more breath. And find a long, open mouth exhale. Pushing into your hands now, supporting yourself. Draw your left foot back to meet your right, finding your tabletop. Inhale, find your cat, your cow. And exhale to cat. Toes tuck under, lift your hips for a hover, and then to downward facing dog. Walk your feet forward, finding them near your hands. Release your hands as your chest melts towards your legs. Lift halfway as you breathe in, resetting your spine. And exhale down. Breathing in, arms released from the mat and reach up to the sky. Exhale, draw fingers to heart. Heel toeing your feet, bring them underneath you. Release your fingertips down and reach behind your back, trying to find opposite elbows. We are opening through our shoulders and chest now. Tuck your tailbone slightly and lift your sternum high. Breathing in here, keeping your core tight to prevent your hands from pushing an arch into your lower back. One more breath, stretching the front of your shoulders. Gently release fingertips down. Inhale, arms to the sky. And exhale, we are taking the opposite position. So find the opposite hand closer to your body. The other hand stacks behind as you reach for your elbows. I imagine one way feels much more awkward than the other. That's how you know you found one you didn't do yet. Again, shoulders have a tendency to hunch forward. Can you be as broad and confident as you can, drawing your shoulders back behind you? Final inhale. And begin to release your elbows, taking fingertips down and just shaking them out. Drawing your hands to your hips. We're moving to a chair today. I'm taking hands at hips so we know where they are in space. Take a moment to experiment. Use your fingertips to almost push the points of your hips down, allowing your tailbone to arch up behind you. And as you exhale, tuck your tailbone under. Hip points lift back up towards your ribs. Blowing a few times through this, so tailbone lifts up as the front of your hips drop and you feel an arch in your spine. And notice your core activate as your tail drops under and your pelvis returns to neutral. Just flowing through this with no other movements. Can begin to imprint the position you are going for. When we do our chair, we want our tail tucked under, preventing our spine from arching out of its natural curvature. So hands can be on hips, chest lifted high, feet are firmly planted. As you exhale, draw your knees forward slightly over your ankles, hips sit back, chest lifts as you're able. Hands can release from hips and reach up to the sky, thumbs drawing behind you. If you can see your arms out of the corner of your eyes, can you use those muscles behind your neck to lift them back in line with your ears? If you find your knees are further out from your toes, use your inner thighs to draw them in, stacking them right in line with your toes. Nice strength, ladies. Inhale one more time. And exhale, release down, forward fold. Lift halfway as you breathe in. Excuse me, hands to the mat, left foot steps back. We return to that low lunge. This time as you lift your hands off of the mat, Maybe your body knows what it's doing, where it's going this time. Tailbone is tucked, right knee stacked over your ankle. As you exhale, return your hands to the mat. This time we add a twist. Left hand stays inside your right foot. Right fingertips open as you twist towards your right knee. One more inhale here. And return your hands to the mat. We do the same thing as before, heel toeing your right foot out slightly. Taking your right hand inside your left foot. Lifting through your chest. We are in lizard. Taking the weight into your hands now. Release your right foot from the mat. Bring it back to meet your left. Flowing through our cow and then cat. Inhale, lift. And exhale, push the earth away. Tuck your toes under. Hover for a moment. And then lift your hips as you sink down for downward dog. Sinking your triceps down towards the mat as you push the earth away. And walk your feet forward, finding them by your hands. As you breathe in, find a flat spine. And exhale down. Inhale, sweep your arms up to the sky. And hands come to your heart. We return to chair, bringing your feet underneath you first if they're wide. On an inhale, lift your chest. And exhaling, sit your hips back. Knees stacking over your ankles. Not drawing in or widening out too far. Arms come up by your ears. Can you lift your gaze up slightly if you're looking down at your toes? Look out in front of you. Keeping your neck in line. Looks beautiful, ladies. We're here one more breath. Challenging our legs. And release down, forward fold. Inhale, half lift. Hands to the mat. Right foot steps back as we find our left low lunge. Chest and fingertips float up to the sky. And sink forward into your left knee. One more inhale here, stretching to the sky. And reach down. Right hand stays as we twist, lifting left fingertips towards the sky. And exhale, left hand returns to the mat. Left hand comes inside your foot as you walk your left foot out, expanding your stance, drawing your heart through. Sinking in for one more inhale. And one more exhale. Left foot now returns back, drawing your knee in line with your right. Finding your cow and your cat. This time we're going to stay here. Return to a neutral spine. Your weight is in your left hand. Bring your right fingertips up behind your ear. If you are unable to balance on one hand, that's fine. You can stay both on the mat. But as you inhale, lift your right elbow towards the sky. And draw your right elbow down towards your left wrist as you breathe out. One more time, inhale, lift. And exhale, use your obliques, drawing your right elbow down towards your left wrist. This time as you inhale, straighten your right arm, fingertips to the sky, and thread the needle, taking the right hand under the left armpit. Right ear comes down to your mat. Maybe your left hand releases and reaches for your right hip crease, allowing you to open through your left shoulder as well. If you took the bind, release your left hand back to the mat. Inhale, lift your right arm up to the sky. And exhale, right hand down. Just to give our knees a break for a moment, tuck your toes under and straighten through your knees for downward dog. And slowly return back down, keeping your core tight as you move slowly coming to your table. Weight is now in our left hand, right hand. Left hand is by your ear. As you breathe in, lift your left elbow. And exhale and draw your left elbow to your right wrist, using your core to turn. One more inhale. And rotate as you exhale. On this in-breath, left fingertips reach to the sky. And left hand threads under your right armpit, drawing left ear down to your mat. Imagine reaching your left hand through as far as you can while pulling your shoulders behind you. Maybe right hand releases, reaching for your left hip crease. We're here for one more full breath. Clearing your minds of anything that has arisen, not related to this moment in time. If you've taken the bind, return your right hand to the mat. Left arm sweeps up and open and slowly returns down. Push weight into the balls of your feet as you lift your hips for one downward dog. And walk your feet to your hands. However wide is your choice. Lift halfway and release down. Arms come up to the sky. And fingertips draw towards your heart. Finding a tree pose, weight comes into your left foot first. Draw up through your left hip as you release your right heel from the mat. Allow your right knee to drop open, right heel is inside your left ankle. If you feel stable, you can bring the foot up inside your calf or up to your inner thigh. Left thigh pushing the foot away if you are here. I encourage you to avoid putting your foot outside your knee. It's not meant to move side to side. Drawing the crown of your head to the sky, hands might remain at heart or strengthen or straighten up to the sky. Wherever your body wants you to be today. Can you find this balance of putting in effort but still feeling calm and at ease? Nice work, ladies. Last breath. Slowly release your foot back down to the mat and shake it out. Cross your right foot over in front of your left. Take a slight bend into your right knee as your hands come to your hips. And fold forward now, feeling a stretch in the outer edge of your left hip. You might go towards flat back, hands might come all the way down. Listen to your mobility wherever you feel right. If you release your hands to the mat, carefully return them to your hips and squeeze your legs together as you lift up to stand. Unwind your feet. Weight is now on the right foot, lengthening through the right side of the body. Left heel lifts off of the mat as your left knee opens to the side. Maybe your left foot comes to your calf or all the way up to your inner thigh. Right quad is active and pushing the left foot away wherever you are. Engaging your core for support. Finding some place to gaze on that is not moving. And finding any arm variation that you choose. Here for one more breath. And slowly release your foot to the mat. This time, left foot crosses over your right. Left knee bends slightly as your hands come to your hips. Slowly release down, leading with your belly button as you fold. Feeling your right hip lift as you stretch the IT band on the outer edge of your right leg. One more breath. Return your hands to your hips. Squeezing your legs together, lift your chest back up. And your left foot unwinds. Nice job, ladies. I'm grabbing a drink quickly here, sorry. Return your hands behind you. Let's all start with your left arm closer to your back. Right arm wraps behind your left as you reach for opposite elbows. Broadening through your chest. From here, step your right foot back. With our legs wide, now toes rotate, finding parallel to the short edges of your mat. You're in a straddle, facing the side of your mat. Lift your chest as you breathe in, tucking your tail, feeling a stretch. And fold forward at your hips, leading with your chest, pausing when you feel your first stretch. You hold here for a breath. And then unwind your arms as you release down to a wide forward fold. If you notice your feet curling in and all the weight is on the big toe edge of your foot, use your glutes to seal the outer edge of your pinky toe towards the mat. It might mean you have to move your feet closer together, that's fine. As you're able, walk your hands over towards your right foot, feeling the stretch in the outer edge of that right leg again. We come back through center and shift to the left. Continue to walk your hands towards the front of your mat. Rotate on your left heel. Right foot comes up to meet your left in a forward fold towards the front of your mat. Lift halfway and release down. Breathing in, sweep your arms to the sky. And hands to heart. This time, everyone's right hand stacks behind their lower back. Left hand reaches behind that for your elbows. Making any adjustments to allow you to reach your elbows as you're able. If you can only reach your wrists, that is okay. This time, left foot steps back. Toes rotate so you are facing the long edge of your mat. Stack your spine up tall and tuck your tail. And slowly fold forward until you feel a stretch and pause there. One more inhale at this point. And slowly release your arms, folding forward. Again, weight shifting so that the pinky toe edges are sealed to the ground. If you have blocks, hands on blocks here is always a great option. Instead of shifting our weight, this time we twist. Left hand on the ground first, reach your right arms up to the sky. Hips may shift towards the right. And exhale, we come down. Breathing in, take your left hand up and open. And release, left fingers down. Draw your heels slightly together. Toes are pointing out wide. We walk our hands back and sit our hips down for a yogi squat. If this is not comfortable with your knees, you can come to a seat or have pillows underneath you. But knees are tracking over toes. Chest is lifted, opening your inner thighs. We're here for one more breath. And release one hand down in front of you, one behind, and slowly come to a seated position. Sweep your left hand or left leg around, returning your focus to the front of your mat. Everyone here, feet are on the earth. Take your hands in front of your knees and stack your spine up nice and tall. Close your eyes and shift your weight back slightly, keeping your spine straight. If you notice your core turning on here and you feel stable, release one hand and then the other, reaching forward towards the front of your room. Shoulder blades drawing down. Your modified boat pose. As we are here, spine stays straight. If you notice it rounding at all, return your hands to your knees. One more inhale. And return your hands to your knees. Allow one knee to drop out to the side and then the other coming to butterfly. Making any adjustments you need, moving extra flesh away from your seat. Opening the soles of the feet like pages of the book, spine stacks tall. As you breathe out, begin to reach forward. And rounding in as you desire. I don't have a lot of flexibility this way, so I'd like to use my elbows to push my knees away. Your nose doesn't have to touch your toes. Even if you were once able to do that, you don't need to expect yourself to today. As you breathe in, stack your spine, returning to a seat. And extend your legs long in front of you, finding Dandasana, our stack pose for our pike sit. Using your fingers by your sides, lift your chest tall. Inhale, arms to the sky, and bend from your hips, reaching forward with your abdomen. And then finally allowing your hands to find your legs or the ground, wherever you can be supported. Engage your quads to sink your knees down to the mat. Taking this stretch into your hamstrings and calves more than into your spine. Although you're shaking, you find a way to almost melt away that tension. Breathing in a sense of calm. Knowing that your mind has control over you, or you have control over your mind. Your mind does not have control over you. Sorry about that. Next time you breathe in, slowly return to a seated position. Draw your feet in, planting the soles of your feet on the mat. Tuck your tailbone under and slowly roll down, finding your back on the mat. When you're there, reach your arms overhead and extend your feet long. Flexing your toes, hug your right knee to your chest. Lengthening through your left hip. Taking your right knee in your left hand, release right fingertips to the side. Pushing into your left heel, now roll onto your left side. Then allow your right knee to draw across your chest. Shoulder blades melt to the earth. Gaze maybe over the right shoulder. Finding the peaceful position here. The ease within the stretch. Slowly coming out of this, use your left heel as a rotation point. As you are on your back, draw your right knee to your chest. This time, left heel draws up, finding that one leg bridge pose. Right ankle crosses the left knee as you find a figure four. Maybe left foot comes off the mat. Arms spread behind your left hamstring as you draw your legs towards your heart. Find one more inhale. And slowly lower left foot to the mat. Right foot unwinds and reaches long. Left foot meets your right as you reach your arms overhead. Drawing left knee to your chest, now flex your toes up towards the sky. Release your shoulders from your ears. Left knee is in your right hand, left hand comes out to a T. Use the right heel as your pivot point, rolling to your right side as you draw your left knee across your body. Sometimes I like to take my right hand under my left knee. That prevents me from feeling any excess strain, so I can sink into the stretch where I'm at. Begin to roll back to your back. Straighten your hips and draw left knee in. The right heel moves up your mat until it finds your hips. Right ankle crosses over as your knee drops. And maybe hands thread under your right hamstring, lifting your right foot towards you. Return to your breath. Allowing each exhale to melt your tension away. And slowly return the right foot down to the mat. Unwind your left leg, this time keeping both feet on your mat. Pushing into the ground, take one bridge pose, lifting your lifting your hips, pushing into your heels. You might take a bind, interlacing fingers underneath your hips, allowing you to roll onto the outer edge of your shoulders and open your chest one more time. And we slowly lower back down. Drawing both knees into your chest for a hug. Then moving to feet up the wall, extending both legs straight. The soles of the feet coming up towards the sky. Lifting your palms up and open. Allowing gravity to hold you in this very gentle inversion. Reversing the blood flow. One more breath, we are here. And carefully release your feet, bringing your feet wide on your mats, knees to touch for constructive rest. Resetting your spine, beginning to melt away any tension that you are holding. And as you're ready, straightening into your legs for Shavasana. Making any adjustments you need, settling in. If at any point Shavasana is causing you any aches or pains, you are welcome to return to constructive rest to finish your practice. Or maybe a reclined butterfly, your choice. Everyone take one inhale with me here, followed by an open mouth exhale. Final time doing the same, breathing deeply. And exhale it out. We are here in Shavasana for one more minute. The state of calm body and calm mind. I encourage you to choose now to be just as intentional about every choice and every movement you make for the rest of your day as you were during your practice this morning. Don't allow yourself to simply get shuffled along without any thoughts. Make each moment and each choice work for you towards your goals. Begin to bring your focus back to your physical body. Maybe making any micro movements, wiggling fingers, circling wrists or ankles. And draw your knees in for a hug. Maybe you slowly roll to one side before moving up to your seated position. Please don't feel rushed. Even as you're at home, you can choose to remain laying. And if you are seated with me here, as you breathe in, take your arms to the sky. And exhale, release, fingertips down. One more inhale. And hands draw to your heart. Thank you for dedicating this hour to yourself, to your breath. I hope that you have a week full of peace and intentionality. Namaste.